run now. Happy to welcome Ailen in the stream today.
Thank you for having me. And going to start actually with some positions that are going to be about gaining space. So go to the state of pawn play, gaining space with pawns.
Is it should be that one, right?
Yeah,
I'm just.
did you enter the study?
It's loading.
It's loading. Okay. Yeah, there you are. Great. Well, we are going to start with this position that we have here. So you're in chapter 4, right?
Yes.
Great. Initial, we have started position. So we are going to be analyzed for things. Yeah, we're going to start with the material. Then we're going to move on to safety. Then we're going to talk about the activity pieces, and we're going to finish with the pawn structure. So let's try to do those things. The conclusion of who's better in this position and which pawn we can do with white.
Okay, let's start with the material is equal. That's just one pawn on one file that's making a difference. If I see it correctly.
Perfect. It's even, okay. And then what can you tell me about the kings?
Yeah.
How are the kings in this position?
King safety is perfect for black with the fianchet bishop, and everything running is protected. White is not having a problem either. I think right now everything is well protected. Maybe in the future it could be that if the position opens up a little bit, that move, and then but no, actually there's not a problem for either of the both sides.
Yeah, both kings are something that is of course important to mention is that we have opposite side castles, right?
Yeah.
And whenever we have this, what we need to try to do is do a pawn turn against the other king. And basically it's going to be a race of which attack gets faster. Well, why at this pawn to a3? So there is like this hole on a2 that maybe at some point should be covered by king to1.
Yeah.
But as you said, I mean, there are no immediate threats at none of the kings, so they are okay. Let's move on to the activity of the pieces here. Let's compare the pieces a little bit and try to tell me who do you think is more active?
I guess it's white because right now, I mean, if you take a look at the king side for black, this is all perfect and developed, but on the queen side, and the three pieces have not moved yet, and so the advantage when it comes to piece activity. I mean, two knights yet are pretty restricted, so white has not too many squares for the knights right now. If you look on the knight on d4, it's, I think, a little problematic if it pushes the pawn. So this has to be monitored.
It has only one square to go to, right? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also the c3 having one square, which can easily be covered by the light squared bishop for black. So yeah, I think this is something white really needs to keep an eye on. The two bishops look on the queen side of the black pieces, but mostly because maybe with the battery from light squared bishop and the queen, this could be something in the future, but right I don't think. And yeah, on the king side, the bishops, they both have a good potential to uh, be of good value for white there, because yeah, they control pretty large diagonal.
Yeah, that's correct. And well, the most important thing is, of course, what you mentioned about Black's queen side, right? Like he's missing to develop the bishop, the knight, and he loves that he will be connecting the rooks, and then he can bring the rooks to the center. But he is a little bit behind on development. White has all of his minor pieces in good squares. Yeah, this knight has only one square to go to. That's b3. But if Black tries to push us that knight away by going e5, then the pawn that left behind on b6 will become a backwards pawn and it will be weak. So maybe, and also e5 will be blocking the bishop. So maybe e5 will not be the best move, and then on b3 it's going to be okay. Like it has centralized knights, centralized too. The rooks are connected. You have to stroke on the d5, pointing at a very important weakness that has on d6. And well, he also has the space advantage, but we're going to get in a bit because the next thing that we're going to analyze is the pawns. So, what can you tell me about the pawn structure here?
Yeah, first thing that comes to mind is the E and F pawns give white a space advantage because just told that.
Exactly.
No, but yeah, of course would have seen
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
Yeah, I think the pawn structure for is still okay. There are no weaknesses right now. We have the option to connect all the pawns besides the gap on the of course. And yeah, for black, turned around, I'd say with push the E pawn to e5, then you block your bishop, which is not Fian Shadow. Is, yeah, not a good idea. And also the D file pawn is might become a weakness, but right now because if I push E, the E pawn, then after takes take, it hang, and also white has to move the knight from d4. Then, like we said, this is not anything. I would say that it's a problem right now for black.
No, but as you said, I mean, white got the space advantage with these two pawns in the fourth rank. The only thing that I think will be weak in white's pawn structure could be, as we mentioned in the beginning, this pawn moved to a3. So then the a2 square is a hole where, I mean, yeah, if we imagine, it's not possible yet, but if black queen enters there, could create some problems. But for now, that's not happening, and we can always just go with the king to b1 and then guard the a2 square. And for black, he has a weak square on b6, right? That square can never be protected by pawn anymore. And also what we said about this pawn on d6, that at the moment, it is weak because the rook in that file, he pushes the pawn to d5 is not possible yet because he loses a pawn. So it is a pawn that he will maybe suffer from later in the game, but for now he got everything defended. So, well, that was the last thing that we were going to analyze. I mean, yeah, we can say white is a little bit better from everything that we talked about, and we're going to be playing with the white pieces here. And well, here about this game, we can say that earlier in the Black was forced to defeat the destiny of his king much earlier than desired, and that is to say, White saw that king has sword, and he went on for the decision of castling on the queen's side and have opposite side castles. We know what we have to do whenever we have this scenario, right? King's castles opposite sides. We need to do a pawn turn. So something like this is going to happen. These pawns are going to start running, and black will do the same thing. But when it's going to start by advancing the pawns on the king side. Thing is, we have different moves. We have f5, e5, g4, h4. So how would you start this pawn race on the king side?
What comes to mind first would be Harry, as Williams also says, Harry the H pawn. Because if Harry reaches 5, then this is protected twice, so or 3 times. It could become an idea to maybe like that. Because right now we also still have the problem that we do not want to trade the queen for a knight, for example. So we cannot attack right there. But maybe, for example, if we go h4 and then queen to f3 to h3, then we could take the bishop for the knight, and after that we have an open position, and of course some mate later.
I like that. I like the idea of h4 right, and as you mentioned, queen h3, because you do need some support to go h5, and then with your queen on h3, you're clearing up your bishop, so then your bishop defends the next of the pawn. That idea is interesting. Not going h4 right away. Do you think something like h5 would be a problem, or not really?
For now, it would be a problem. Maybe a continuation could be bishop e3, and then push the f pawn and
or the f pawn. Yeah, I like that too.
And trade the pawns, and then we have the knight still defending the f5. So yeah, maybe this depends on the opponent, but this could be something. Yeah, we are of course faster than black is with an attack
for sure.
on our
queen. I like that you are considering this break on f5, which is interesting. And that is actually what I did here. He pushed f5 right away. Yeah. As I said, this is going to happen, but it's always also a little bit hard. Just whenever you have a situation like this, you need to start advancing pawns. With which pawn do we start? And here I started with moving the pawn to f5, right? Because this is offering pawn free. He's starting to opening up lines. So f5 is what white did in this position. Of course, if black takes 5, this will just not be good for him. Now, well, the pawn on d6 that we said in the beginning was a little bit weak, or had potential to be weak. This is very clear now, because now it is an isolated pawn. We have our knight and rook looking at that pawn, and also just opened up the d file. So if he does something like this, then later we can try to bring our rook to f. We can think about doing a lift, and you have both of your bishops looking at his king side too. The queen is right there. Your knight can come to the game very fast too. So this opposition is going to be over very, very soon for black. So after f5, black to just work this pawn move, and he played knight to c6. So he's maintaining the tension with his pawn on f5. He's not pushing any pawn, not taking with any pawn. He's just leaving it like that. What will we do in this position if we want to continue with this pawn storm on the king side?
I mean, whatever we do, we will open up the rook for black, the f8 rook, because if we take either side, then black will retake on the other side. So we will have this opened up, and as the queen is on the diagonal on the square, right now this could be a problem.
Yes. So we are not going to take on e6 or b6.
Yeah.
But we do want to continue their pawns on the king's side.
Yeah, so it would be an easy option to push the g pawn.
Yeah. Pushing d4 is good of 5 and bringing Harry in for the attack as well, of course. So white played g4 here. Black played rook e8. That is well reinforcing the e6 pawn and also locating the f8 square for the bishop. And that is for defending purposes later. But yeah, we can see that black starts getting a little bit too passive. And what do you do in this position here? How do you continue with the idea that we have?
Everything is protected.
You can push the h pawn now. Yes.
Or I
H
can push
possible.
the g pawn one square further because I attack the knight then.
Or the g pawn. Yeah. Both moves are good. But what I decided to do in the g5 is maybe a little bit more threatening. The knight in the game went to d7. But if the knight goes to h5, yeah, it looks okay on h5. The problem is that this knight is never coming back into the game because now is going to play 6. This bishop, that's why he played rook e8 to leave the square for the bishop. So he goes bishop f8. Yeah, he's defending everything. But still look at h5. It has no squares to go to, and it just can't go back into the game. Yeah, we cannot take it yet, but we can have ideas if we want to win it to go queen h3 and then just stay here. Not right now because there is this threat of e5, but we always have those type of ideas at some point. So then here's, yeah, it's safe now, but it will be hard in a few moves and it cannot go back. So that is why in the game after d5, black decided to put his knight to d7, where, well, it's closer to the center, so it can help a little bit more. And after knight d7, white played f6 because pawn is of course going to give you more space, and we can always start talking about possible mating ideas on g7. Not yet because the bishop is guarding it, but if in the future, exactly, we can go queen h3, try to enter on h6, if we find out of eliminating this bishop, which is going to happen later. Or we can also, well, try to offer another pawn break to open up even more lines. That is what white is going to do right now. Which pawn break do you think he's going to go for?
I guess there's only one, right?
Yeah, there's the break on h5, right? So that is what white is going to do. He plays h4 with the idea of going h5, of course, and tending to opening up the h file. After h4 here, black playing knight e5, that is attacking the queen. And in this position, where would you put your queen?
Mm, that's a difficult decision. I mean, of course, you can think about h3, and then moves, the pawn can open up the bishop, so this has to be considered.
The thing is, the knight has no squares to go to after you put your queen there. All of the squares are covered.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I mean, if he goes here, we just take him, and then if he goes e5, I mean, we already won a piece, so we don't really care if we lose the knight. We can go knight f5, for example. At least we get a pawn for the knight, right?
The bishop
So,
and the king is opened up even more.
exactly. We're opening up the king even more. We got rid of his pawn d6, so he has less pieces to defend his king. And this is, of course, really good for white. So, yeah, this idea with queen h3 is the right move. The only move that the knight can do without getting taken is just going back to d7. And if he does that, then he's blocking the bishop. So that, of course, is not a good idea. So white played to h3. Black here played pawn to b5. Finally, he started, pushing pawns in front of our king because we are clearly way further than he is with the attack on the on the king. So he played pawn to b5, and what will you do here? Do you react to this move, or do you continue with your plan on attacking his king?
I think it's safe to push h pawn.
Pawn, yeah, h5. We continue with our attack. Then black played pawn b4. No, we need to reverse this because they are taking the knight. So here, white played a takes b4, knight takes b4. And now white played a very nice move that is rook d to f1. And it's already solving the threat of going h takes g6. And after pawn takes, that is the only move. If we go h takes g6, yeah, if he doesn't take with the f pawn, he takes with the knight or with the pawn, we have queen h7 or queen h8 checkmate. So he needs to take with this pawn, and then he defends h7 with the queen. And now we have the threat of f7 check, and he can't capture with the knight because then he blocks it from defending h7. So we have queen takes h7 checkmate. So this move is just very nice, and that is the idea behind rook d1. So that is what white played again. After this, well, black played h6, trying to create some confusion there with the pawn trades that we have going on. And well, then there's not a h7 anymore, but this is not so helpful for him, of course, because we are going to accomplish our goal to open up files. h6, g6 is an option. Yeah, this is good. Then well, black could take with the f pawn, and how you can continue here.
Still again with forking king and rook. Or
So,
entering with the queen. No, with the taking.
Not yet. With the pawn, maybe, but I don't know if taking with the pawn would be useful because, well, this is something that we can call the umbrella, maybe. Like this pawn, he just never captured this pawn. And it's a pawn that is more helping him defend his king than it is helping you to attack. Yeah, because the pawn is obstructing your queen and rook. That move that you're mentioning, the bishop h5, is something that we're going to see in a bit. Those are tactical resources we have in this decision to force the opening up of lines and attack his king. So very good. I like that you saw that move. Here, after h6, white didn't do this. What he played was f3. And, well, what's the idea of this knight move? White is trying to exchange black's most active piece, that is knight on e5. So it makes sense. It's maybe a slow move, but yeah, this knight is also guarding f7 and guarding g6. So if we manage to eliminate that knight, we're going to make the attack way easier as well. So now if he was played, and here black played rook to d8. It's not that he has a lot of options in this position. After rook to the 8, where our idea is not that he takes on f3, but just that we eliminate his knight. So now white played knight takes e5, pawn takes, and now we take on g6, f takes g6, f7 check, as we have seen in previous variations. And here black goes king g7. So keep the move that you mentioned a couple minutes ago, that is forcing to open up lines. Yes, bishop h5, and this is very pretty. So if pawn takes bishop, we're going to take with the queen, and now we got this square as well, and we actually are trying to play queen takes h6, and we would have some interesting mating ideas after that. So it's a possible trade that we have. At some point, also just g6 and taking with bishop on h6. We eliminated pawn g6, and now we free our pawn. We leave that square for the queen as well. We have ideas of rook f6, putting more pressure on the pawn. So that pawn on d6 was very important for his defense. So it is a good idea that we have eliminated that. So after bishop h5, of course, black didn't take the bishop, ignored, and he played queen e5, which is actually a pretty strong. The idea is to go queen a1 check. Your king can't escape because we have the rook here. You have to go knight b1, and then he has knight a2 checkmate. Yeah. So that's the threat that he has. And what do you think we can do with white here to stop those threats?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about this, but no.
Yeah, it's not.
Because same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, because this is not a square the king can go to. I thought also about here with a knight. So this is not available. This is a bearing checkmate here. When the queen comes in. Mm.
What why is it here to stop the queen ideas is going king b1. And then, well, the king on one just stops the queen from entering,
Yeah,
right? And we have it looks, as
it
I
looks.
mentioned, it looks crazy, right? Because I mean, it's like you're getting the king closer to
Yeah.
action, but whenever he has long, it is a very useful move. You're always going to see whenever a grandmaster castles long that at some point they go king b1. Because that is the problem about long castle, that your king is not guarding the 3 pawns.
Yeah.
So you should go king b1 and then your king defends the 3 pawns, or in this case the a2 square. So he simply played king b1 and said black, okay, your attack is over. And now he has everything on the king side to give a checkmate very soon. And black can't do anything against that. So here white played king to b1. Here black played knight takes c2. That is, well, trying to force, or not force you, but tempt you to take knight, which looks kind of. But then, yeah, we can have some annoying ideas. If we take knight, he can try to bring more pieces in, or try to find a way of giving you checks. Try to get here the queen, which is guard. But it's, I mean, at this position, Black was just desperate. He didn't really know what to do, so he tried this sacrifice. And well, this could also be a threat, but if black goes to a1, we just take the
Take the
knight,
knight.
and there's nothing going on. So here, white just ignored that sacrifice, and yeah, here in this position, how do you think we can continue with white? Because, well, he's not taking anything over here, so then we're not getting our open file. How would you make progress with your attack on the king side?
I mean, I could sack the bishop myself.
Yeah, it's actually a very strong move. Yes. If king takes g6, meets in 4. Let's try to see it.
Okay. Yes, this could be a start.
Possible? Huh?
Here. This is another check. Okay. So we have this and that card. So king cannot go there. The only square would be no, maybe this. What
Well,
will
that is
black do?
interesting. Yeah, it's almost over. I can give you this check, but then as we said, we just take the knight, and yeah, it's gonna be over soon, because if I take this, is just checkmate. This works. Yeah, the idea of it all started here with bishop takes g6 move works. There's another move that's also, or sorry, I mean after bishop takes, less than 4. Queen h5 is a good move, but there's a fast way of giving a checkmate. There's something that's quicker than queen h5. Rook f6 check, yes. Then, well, I go king d7, you just play queen takes h6, because then you block the bishop. So let's say that I go king h7. Then what do you think? Then we can play rook takes h6. Very good. If bishop takes, we just play queen takes, giving a checkmate. So he should move the king to g7, and then
what's that then?
Yes, and queen h5 checkmate. Perfect. Yeah. So that is the, say, the checkmate in 4 moves that we have here, which is of course winning. So in this position, after knight takes c2, bishop takes g6, said is a winning move. In the game, we did another move that is also good, but bishop takes g6 is stronger. What white played in the game, as I said, it's also winning in this position. White has even king takes knight is winning. We don't really have to be scared of that. White in the game played queen f3. What's the idea of queen f3? We'll try to enter with the queen on f6, and the pressure that we have on g6 is going to be too strong. So white played queen to f3, and here, well, as we said, black is desperate over here, so he sacrificed the knight once again, and here white doesn't take it because then he will open up the b5, and well, that could be a little bit dangerous. So in this position, white played king to c1, and then there are no more checks. And we are getting very close to the checkmate. And after the c1 move in the game, black resigns. Now we're going to see why. We can try a move for black. Let's say that black here plays knight c4. Makes sense because he's entering with the queen once again. He could have, not checkmate, but he could have some interesting ideas. So after knight to c4, here white has check in 3 moves. Let's try to find that.
Checkmate in 3 for white. Is the checkmate for white or for black?
For white, for white.
Still for white. It's not again queen entering there.
We are queen, but we're going to enter there with a check. So we need to first the black king to go to g7 or h8 first, or g6. We're gonna enter on f6 with a check.
Okay. So it's not the bishop move again?
Move again, yes.
Okay.
Because then if the king goes to g7 or h8, we just have queen f6 check. Well, if the king goes there, the bishop can cover, but then we have which move? Rook takes h6 checkmate because the bishop is pinned.
Yeah.
Yes, very good. Yeah. And well, if he takes the bishop, we
I think this and this and bishop takes probably.
And queen takes the checkmate,
yeah.
Or g6. That's the checkmate.
Okay.
Is one move, but I mean the other one works as well because it is forced. Yeah, and that is why this king move black resigned because there is a checkmate coming. There are threats of bishop takes, and this queen move to f3 is very, very clever because then the entrance on f6 cannot be stopped, and that's what white was needing to complete this strong attack that he had created. Yeah.
Yep.
Great. Okay. So any questions about this example?
Who played the game?
Let's see. We had Michael Adams with white.
Okay.
So, yeah, that we know the quality of white here. And well, black player, I don't know who he is. It says the last name is Rennet, but I'm not so familiar with him. Probably, of course, a grandmaster, but
okay.
yeah.
But
Michael Adams is who was playing with whites. So
I think what's
Yeah.
also interesting to mention is that the bishop never moved.
They moved, yeah, and in the game, this was move what in the game? This was move 29 in the game, King C1. So yeah, after 29 moves, Black still was not able to develop his bishop. That's a minor piece, never able to connect, and that is, I mean, that was possible only because how strong White played here, of course. So yeah, very very nice game for White. It was a crushing game.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Maybe we can. I had two crushing games as well, which I lost in Rapid recently, like 2 days ago.
Take a look at them.
Yeah, maybe we can take a look
Okay.
at those. I will. How do we do it? Should I?
Yeah, I'm wondering that too. I mean, I could
Send you the link and put it. Maybe that's the.
Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's the best way. Yes, let's do that.
Best way, because screen sharing today is not working.
Yeah.
So let me just find the games and I will send. I mean, I took a look at the analysis, but yeah, I think I also streamed them. But yeah, by the way, I reached 1,300 in puzzles.
Whoa, that's really good. 2,000 higher than mine. No, almost.
Yeah, was
Very
it?
nice.
A funny story. I was also streaming when I just thought I clicked on puzzle streak and was wondering, oh, this looks quite hard for the first puzzle.
For the first one.
and then I just clicked, and there went my score from 2016 to 2002, because yeah, it was not a puzzle streak. It was just
a rated puzzle.
a rated puzzle. Yeah. So, but
Well, very nice.
sometimes
Amazing.
I do puzzle streaks on stream from time to time, and I really sometimes wonder how in the 1400 are. It's still not so easy for me to find. It's interesting. Sometimes,
yeah, they do put some tricky puzzles like early. Yeah, and then you get a 2100 puzzle, like 2100 rated, and it doesn't seem as hard as the ones in puzzle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
that can happen.
So now the one just send you on Skype, and the other one I should be that one. I didn't take the same one twice. 7p. Yes, I did take the same one twice. Yeah. Just find the other one. You can already put that in the site.
I put that one already.
All right. The second one is the yeah, that's the second one.
Okay, 1, 2, and then go to the same study we're working on. So pawn play. So this is the first game. You were playing with white in both. Let's see. In this one, you played queen's pawn, and yeah, he played 5. This is the England gambits. Not so common, I think. Do you get this often?
No, I don't get that too often, and yeah, his rate is 80 almost. I think. Yeah, so I wasn't really mad that I lost that game.
He has a high rating. And well, against this gambit, as yeah, we have said a couple gambits, and you don't really know what to do against it, accept it. Yeah. And that's usually the best to do against the gambit is to accept it. I would say, with the exception of a couple, but most of them, we are going to accept them, and then, well, let black prove that, take that pawn, right? So here, knight c6, you develop a piece as well, defending the pawn. He goes pawn to d6. You take, this is perfect. Then you pieces. You keep that extra pawn that you knight c3, developing your knight. Bishop d4, h3. Always a good move to ask him what to do with this bishop. If he's gonna take, then you already get from the opening. And if he retreats, we just keep playing as normal. And this pawn move is always to give our king a escape square with bishop. In the bishop moves, there are going to be any mating threats in the back rank, so that's a good move. He plays bishop a5. You play bishop g5. Yeah, very nice. Attacking the queen. 6 is just, of course, weakening his king.
That
So
was
that is
my
a
idea
helpful
before.
move.
Yeah.
That was your idea. You move your bishop back, but you wasted a tempo with bishop. But no, you did, because you gave him a weak. Very good. He played before, but that's not creating any threats because the knight is not even pinned. Each last inner piece, perfect. Now you play knight e4. I mean, this is okay because we're taking the bishop on b4 here. So then him taking on f3, I mean, it's possible, but it's not really creating any problems to you. I also like just going bishop e2 here and defending the pin. That's another option. But no, this is fine. Let's see. It's that we have king, but our king is in check, so we do need to do some calculation. Pawn. Yeah, now this bishop is hanging, so he should do something about it. Problem now is that, well, you cannot anymore. Now your king is open. But you I mean, long castle is not crazy. Like queen e2, long castle. I see any problems with that. He played a5. And you took. I will go, as I said, queen e2 and castle long. Why not take? Because, well, then he will take. I mean, this is fine. I'm not losing. But then he takes with the pawn. And now, if you want to still go for the long castle idea, then this rook is open. But well, here we can just trade queens. And then we forget about the castle. We don't have the queens on the board anymore. So we don't really have to castle. You go rook d1. This rook on the g open. And actually, this position is better for you, not only because you have an extra pawn, but also he has weaknesses and he's not like fully developed yet. So this endgame is definitely better for you. You play bishop e2. You didn't trade the queen. Did you consider the queen trade?
Yeah, I could. I thought I lose the pawn afterwards, at least when I trade
Which
the
f3.
f3. Yeah, the f3 pawn.
Yeah, but it's your turn again. You can go bishop e2 and end it.
Okay.
Right? And then we said rook 1, rook g1. It's a problem because he's not fully developed yet.
Yeah.
That's interesting. It's not a bad move. He didn't like to trade queens either. He played knight e7. Now it's the same thing. You have the option once again to exchange queens.
Yeah.
And then with your rook reset, you play knight e2 attacking the bishop. That's undefended. He plays bishop f7. b3. I mean, yeah, bishop b7, f7, sorry, is attacking your pawn. b3. I mean, what I don't like about b3 is that now we have to keep this rook on a1 forever to defend the pawn. Right? Now move your rook, and then this falls, and you cannot go a3 either, because he has enough control over the a3 square. Something interesting, maybe to change queens. Right? And if he takes with the king, I mean, this pawn is poisoned, isn't it? He cannot take it. So I can go, I will do just whatever move. He can't capture. If he captures with the rook, we capture, and then we play b3 trap. And if he takes with the bishop first, same thing. Then, sorry, here, bishop takes b3. So actually that pawn was poisoned. He was not able to capture it. So b3 was not necessary.
Yeah, that didn't come to mind.
It's okay. It's a very with those pawns on A and H. They are often poison pawns because whenever they take it with bishops, we can always like b3 or d3 and we castled. Okay, now you trade queens. And you can castle short. Yeah, your king is perfect. Bishop e6 looking fine. We don't have the queens on the board, so he's not going to give you a checkmate. King d2, very good, defending. Knight f5, and you play rook to. You forgot about your pawn on a2. Or...
No, I didn't, because if he takes, then his rook is hanging.
But then if I take your rook first, can I still not take it? Here.
Yeah, now you can take it. Sure.
I mean, you do have something though, maybe. Maybe it looks strong though. Bishop c4 and then go into the rook. It looks interesting. Yeah, okay. It's not. I mean, it's hanging, but we can get compensation easily for that pawn. Knight h4 check, king h2, rook takes rook, rook takes a2. I don't like bishop d3 just because it's blocking your rook, right? I mean, that rook could be very active on the d file. Currently, he is up one, but we can look for a way of doing a counter attack. What do you think we can do?
We could offer to trade the bishops on c4.
Like bishop c4? Yes, but then he can still take it.
Yeah.
And then he's taking here and the one on f2, so that's maybe not so good.
Yeah. So, counter attack. What? I mean, I could still protect with the rook also on d2.
Rook d2, yeah, just be defending.
Yeah, this is.
You can do a counter attack with your rook. Where can you go to with your rook?
No, I mean, I could go d8, h8.
That's interesting. D8 and h8 and attack this. Also, this move is good. Rook d4.
Okay, that's simple and good. Yeah.
Yeah. You take pawn, but then you take not that one. Sorry. Then you take the knight, and your bishop is defended by your knight. That's what's good about this.
Yep.
So he cannot take the pawn, and well, you're gonna win this one on b4 because you need to defend the knight, of course, like with g5. You can take this one, and then you're taking the one on b7, and we are gonna get the material back. Yeah. So, you play bishop. Oh, and also this move leaves the pawn hanging on f2. The defending another pawn.
Yeah.
H2,
I was worried about the clock there, I think, a little bit, because it's 1:18.
You have only a minute on your clock. Yeah, that's true. g6, knight e4. Okay, this is attacking the pawn on f6. King attacking the knight, g5. I like how you part. You played pretty aggressive going forward with all your pieces. Oh, we have a nice threat here to win a pawn. That's this one. Because then we create a discovery attack to the bishop. So that's interesting, right? Then if king takes, we can just take the bishop. And, well, he can recover that pawn, but we're taking this one on b7. Going knight and then yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah. Especially with my 25 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, that was definitely a problem. I mean, yeah, I go with this too. We get low on time. I mean, yeah, I don't know if you were World Rapid and Blitz Championships.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, Master, I remember there was a game to play against a guy from China. I don't remember his name, and he just left his queen hanging, and he is like 2,700. So if a player's level pieces hanging when they are low on time, it's just something that happens to everyone. Yeah, here you leave the pawn on c2, but here's just time trouble. You took the pawn, he takes the one on e4, rook d8, you try to get some attack in here. King h2, knight f3 check, king d2. He gives a discover check with knight f5, king h2. And yeah, here it's a little bit hard because, yeah, he got a queen.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a very nice game. You did some mistakes, but you over here when you were you had around a minute on your clock. But it was a very, like, over here, it's just completely even. Yeah. So it was definitely a very interesting game. This move, I think, was key. But yeah, here you start getting a little bit low on time as well. But it was a very nice game. I liked it. Very interesting. Great. And then, well, maybe we can do the game for next time, and we can do a puzzle racer to finish.
Sure.
Yeah, great. I will send you the link in Skype then. Let's see if that puzzle streak has been happening or not.
I got my bullet up to 1200 again.
I do that too. Whenever I reach you, yeah. We all do that.
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, it's okay. Well, it's not probably visible. But maybe it's after I start the race. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
I guess it will remain like that.
Yeah, it's missing.
Yeah, I can.
Part of the...
I can just.
Great. That's good. Okay. Great. Then, okay, let's start. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay. That one's surprisingly good. Yeah, very nice. 30 in I mean, it's points. It's not puzzle solve. I don't really know how the system of the points, or is it the amount of moves?
No,
You
I
know?
think you get a combo bonus if you
Oh, so if you do a couple good in a row.
if you do a couple in a
Okay.
row. Exactly. Yeah, that's right.
Great. But that was good. Very nice. Okay. Well, I enjoyed a lot being in your stream. I hope that you had fun.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you. And I think we can repeat this soon if you're up for it. So
Of course, I can also. I'm starting off. I'm thinking of doing streams as well when I get back to Argentina. So I will definitely do some of my channels too as a guest if you want. So yeah, that's gonna be fun.
yes, of course, we will do that. And yeah, enjoy your time. Curaçao, and then yeah, speak soon. I would say.
Okay,
Very
sounds
much.
good. Thank you again for having me. Have
Bye
a good
bye.
night.
It was a pleasure. Bye.
Bye.